Hello, Dr. Len. It's so nice to have you on the show today. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Just it's another good day to be alive, right?
That's right. Beautiful. And thank you so very much, Dr. Len, for being here. You see, I truly appreciate you. And you see, oftentimes, Dr. Len, I love to thank my guest for two things. And I do this so often to the point where it has become my anthem. So, firstly, I want to say thank you so very much, Dr. Len, for investing in yourself. You see, you are on this platform right now because you did invest that in yourself. And oftentimes, Dr. Len, I love to make reference to the amazing mango tree. I see some couple of months back, I was on a particular road, and just by the roadside, Dr. Len, there was this very tall, unattractive mango tree. And I used the word unattractive because the mango tree's got no mangoes on it, and the leaves were all dry. So I just walked past it, and I went my way. But you see, Dr. Len, just recently I was on that same road, and this time around, a lot's changed about the mango tree. You see, the mango tree caught my attention pretty good from a distance, and immediately I got the urge to move so close to it, of which I did, and it wowed me because now the mango tree's got a lot of mangoes on it, beautiful green leaves and healthy branches, and not just mangoes now, Dr. Len. I'm talking about ripe mangoes. It
So
was
there you
such
go.
a lovely it was such a lovely experience that day. I was so excited. Here is my point. The fact that you dedicated your time, energy, and resources to becoming the amazing Dr. Len that you are today, that alone has made it impossible for me to skip you. And that's why you got the request for me to be on the show because I was attracted to the fruit of all that you're doing. Your knowledge, your insight, your philosophies, the beautiful stuffs you're doing, how you're offering your solutions. These stuffs are amazing. And just before I sent you that request, Dr. Len, I said to myself, I've got to benefit from these beautiful things Dr. Len is doing. And not only me now, but even with the audience. And here we are today with the amazing Dr. Len. So thank you so very much for doing that yourself. And secondly, thank you for saying yes to the invite. Because if you had said nope, there was nothing Elisha could do about it. Thanks so much, Dr. Len.
Hey, Elisha, thank you so much especially thank you for those kind words. It really means a lot to you. Sometimes people don't realize that, sometimes you're often giving praise to others. And it's
Hmm.
always nice when you get, sometimes the vine needs to get fed too, right? And
Yeah,
so I
right.
appreciate those kind words. Thank you, sir.
Beautiful, beautiful. So let's get started, Dr. Len. You see, I'm quite excited to have you on the show today for two reasons. Firstly, my interest in knowledge seeking. I believe in order for one to transition from a terrible situation to that of a beautiful one, Dr. Len, I believe it takes the application of knowledge, quality information. And you see, ever since I discovered that light in the Hebrew means knowledge and darkness ignorance, I've been so keen to knowledge seeking. Why? Because I do not want to remain in the dark. So that's going to make our conversation today very important to me and even to the listeners. And the second reason why I'm excited to have the incredible Dr. Len on the show is for the sake of the audience. You see, Doctor, we live in an age where information is as abundant as grains of sand. We've got lots of information flying out there. So these folks trust me for quality, eye-opening and very important information, of which I am totally convinced, Doctor, that our conversation is going to be insightful and impactful. So for that reason, Dr. Len, let's get started with your introduction. Talk to us about your personal or your professional journey, because right now we are so curious. We want to know how Dr. Len got here. Then afterwards, I've gotten some beautiful questions for you. Okay,
Okay.
Doctor, over to you.
Well, it's so funny when I think back about it right now because right now I'm the older gentleman with younger kids, and my kids are about, getting ready to get out of high school, and so they're going to start on their journey to where they have to figure out what they want to do, where they want to go in life. And the one thing I've learned is that, especially now, after what I've been doing for the last 30, almost 30 years, just helping people in their health and fitness. People are trying to get healthy and fit, get in better shape, get to overcome whatever health complaints they've been nagging their body, and so you know it took me a while to get to that position, because when I got out of school, I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. A lot of people get out, as I say in the book, 5 steps, that the first 18 years of life are pretty much planned out for you. After those 18 years, now you have to start making decisions. What do you want to be? Do you want to go join the circus? Do you want to join the military? Do you want to get married? Do you want to travel overseas? Do you want to own your own business? Do you want to work for somebody else? And what path do you want to take to make that happen? And so for a lot of people, they may not know this, and I say that because a lot of my patients over the year, they would be in their third and fourth and fifth decade of life, and as they're telling me their headaches and struggles, this and that they're in their third or fourth decade, and they're still really not sure why they're at how they got here. As far as married, kids, the mortgage, the house, stuff like that.
mm, mm,
It wasn't planned, but I'm here now, and maybe that could be why I'm not at the level of satisfaction, both physically, mentally, spiritually. And so hopefully we can just start, the last couple of years, I really started trying to focus on helping people, not just with their physical health, which is what I've done for 25 years, but to help them see that how you feed your body is really no different than how you feed your mind and your spirit. You can either, you reap what you sow. You can either feed it the good stuff or not the good stuff. And, who after 18, you're kind of responsible for feeding yourself. And, that's kind of how I created the 5 Steps a Day program.
mm, Awesome, awesome. And that's a beautiful one you're doing. It's really amazing the impact what you're doing is having on the world. I love it. So you mentioned the 5 steps, all right? So how did you get the idea for 5 steps a day?
Well, I've had that idea for many years, but it kind of evolved from when I was helping my patients. And again, for those who just joined it, I created a little program called 5 Steps a Day. It's just a simple tool to help you track how you're feeding your body, your mind, and your spirit. And when I was in practice, full practice, a lot of my patients would be talking. I'd say, listen, imagine 21 steps for the next week. You imagine that you have an opportunity to take 21 steps forward. Think of it like seeing footsteps in the sand, right? You have an opportunity to take 21 steps, and the 21 comes from 3 meals a day, 7 days a week. Do I think after a week you're going to take 21 steps towards better health because you ate 21 perfect meals? No, but I'm hoping you would have maybe 15, 16, 17 steps forward, because you took 15, 17 good meals and maybe 3 or 4 bad meals over the week. Yeah, and if you did, 15 steps forward, 4 steps backward, you're still moving forward. And on that journey of trying to get healthier, physically healthier, we're moving in the right direction. Like it's kind of like baseball. I like to use the analogy. Home runs are great, but base hits, moving people over one base at a time, you can still help you win the ball game. And so, there could be some days you eat good, some days you eat better. It's when you eat 3 bad meals in a day when you need to kick yourself in the rear and get back on the right track. So yeah, I created it years ago, and it just I was being interviewed. Honestly, Alicia, I was being interviewed for an article on health and fitness, and I had done one for Authority Magazine the prior year, and they came back again and said, "Hey, Doc, we love the article on health and fitness. Let's do another one, but we want to kind of, instead of just health and fitness, we want to do health and fitness, but we want to kind of do the whole body, mind, spirit thing. Is that within your realm or not?" And I thought, scratched my head on, thought about it, went to bed, slept on and prayed about it. And I shared it with them. And the first person I really ever shared with anybody this thing, 5 steps, because it was just something I was doing other stuff. And so they came back and they said, "This is the coolest thing I've ever seen. I've never seen anything like this. This is a great
Wow.
little little tracker to see how well you're feeding body, mind, and spirit." And so that just kind of gave me the impetus. Maybe this should be my journey. I've helped a lot of people help their physical body. but can I help move the needle to help those who are struggling in feeding their mind and their spirit, especially?
Wow. And that's a powerful approach and it sounds really effective. Thank you for developing that. So, what do you mean by did you get physical today?
Okay. Well, the steps are the word steps is just a simple acronym for sleep, think, eat, physical, and spirit. And so what we're talking about here is like sleep. All you're going to do is shade in that footstep. Sleep. Did you sleep good last night? Did you fall asleep with the remote control in your hand or your phone in your hand? And just let your mind fall asleep for the next 8 hours, drift off to whatever thoughts are there? Or did you fall asleep visualizing, dreaming about what you want to see happen tomorrow, next week, 5 years down the road? What journey do you want to, as I say, if you don't know what your land of milk and honey is, don't complain if you don't know where that land of milk and honey is. If you end up arrive at the land of heartaches and headaches. So having focus, and this is what we're talking about, building the mind or strengthening the mind. So if you slept good last night because you thought about what you wanted to see happen tomorrow, as opposed to many just falling asleep with worry, fear, and anxiety, about tomorrow's headaches. So if you slept good last night, shade in that first S. Did you think better today? You know, yeah, I'm not asking if you told yourself a bazillion times that I feel great, I'm strong, I'm powerful, but did you allow 1 minute or 2 minutes of self-talk to help? As it says in scripture,
Hmm.
a man is as the man thinketh. Are you
Yeah,
feeding your
yeah.
are you feeding your mind some positive thing to give you some confidence, not just at work, but in your social? It's just your whole mindset. And if you did, and again, you don't have to say I need to say it 10,000 times. But did you take a minute or two here to remind yourself, I feel great. I'm going to have a great day. I can do this. I'm feeling better about today. I'm going to, whatever phrase you want to say for yourself, shade in the T. The eat part, we kind of discussed. Did you eat right? I didn't ask if you ate perfect, but did you eat better? Did you
Right.
have more
Hmm.
good meals than bad today? Hey, I had a really good breakfast. I had a good lunch. I didn't have that good of a dinner, but 2 steps forward, 1 step back, you still move forward. And that is when you visually
Hmm.
see those footsteps, it's kind of it gets into that subconscious. You get this little endorphin hit when you say, "Hey, I took 4 steps today. I took 5 steps today. I only took 1 step today." And again, I won't say I stole this from Seinfeld, the comedian, but Seinfeld, he had a calendar he created years ago, and it was kind of similar, but his was just a regular calendar. And if he did what he wanted to do, which was I wanted Jerry Seinfeld said, if I write 10 jokes a day, I need to do that in order to be a successful comedian. And so if he wrote 10 jokes a day, he would put an X on that day. The next day, if he took time to write those 10 jokes, he'd put another X. And he started noticing when he started seeing 3 and 4, 6, 7 X's on the calendar, it's like, I don't want to break the chain. I see the benefit. I'm seeing him doing something good because, as you know, I'm sure, not everybody learns by reading. Some people are
Yeah,
more
yeah.
visual and some people are more kinesthetic. And so when they look at the steps and they see, hey, I shaded in 3 steps today, I shaded in 4, I shaded in 1, or maybe just when you do 1, it's a good kick in the rear to say that, okay, I need to do better tomorrow. It's self help. You know, and then as far as physical, did you do anything physical today? I don't care. I'm not asking if it was an aerobic workout, anaerobic workout. Was it a full workout, a light workout? Were you climbing steps, running, lifting weight?
Hmm.
Did you do anything physical today? Because there's some people in your audience here, I'm sure, that for them, just walking to the grocery store, cutting the yard, going out playing with the kids,
Hmm.
wrestling with them,
Hmm.
that can be physical enough for them because at their level of
Yeah.
conditioning right now. So if you did something physical, pat yourself on the back. You did it. Can you do it again tomorrow? Did you carve out some time in your day to be physical? Shade in the P. And the last one's spirit. Did you work your spiritual muscles? And
Awesome.
I think as well as I do, or my belief is, as I always say, to neglect your spirit is like skipping a meal. It leaves you empty. So
So
we
true.
have, and some people Some people, that's my line too. Some people, they as I grew up this way, they just worked their spiritual muscles once a week and they thought they were fine. And I used to think that way too. But, your
Mm,
spiritual muscles are just like your physical muscles. I mean, as I try to tell my kids, it, it's great to have muscles, especially if you need them. If you have a flat tire and you need to pick something up, but if you don't have it, it's kind of, you're kind of a short end. But
mm,
same way when some of those struggles hit you in life and everything, do you have the spiritual strength and working your spiritual muscles once a week, once a month, twice a year may not give you that fullness to handle the challenges that we all face at one time or another in life. And if you did check that, work your spiritual muscles, and there's, again, reading word is great. Maybe just listening to a podcast, fellowship with others, serving. There's so many different ways you can feed your spirit out there. But at the end of the day, it takes 2 minutes to say it in your footstep. You can visually
mm.
see, hey, I took 4 steps today. That's really, yesterday I only took one or two. And so there's something about that. Not everybody learns by reading and writing, and so listening. So this is just another stimulant to help you easily track your habits and attitudes to hopefully move you into improve your body, mind, and spirit.
I tell you, and that's so powerful. The fact that you're able to discover that method, it's really mind blowing, and it just shows how good you are at what you're doing. I love it. So you've answered almost all of my questions, but we have just one more to go. So
I was
let's
on a
talk
roll.
about yeah, let's talk about habits. All right, how long does it take to change habit and attitude?
Well, there's so many different thoughts on that because I've read many of these books and everything. And some people say you can change it. It takes 21 days. Others say it can take up to 90 days. And it's like I think of it this way. How long will it take me to get somebody who has 12-inch biceps to 18-inch biceps? For some people, it may take them 3 months. It may take 3 years, right? Because they're how much effort are they putting into developing and how much passion do they have for that? So it just kind of depends. It's all going to be based on the individual. So there is some kind of the individual has some say so in it. Within a couple of weeks, you can really get this down using the 5 steps, and it's just a reminder. And I will say, yeah, if when I first created this thing, I showed it to, or when I talked to the magazine, showed it to them. My belief was the calendar, because that's how I first had I'd been doing that for 20 years, using my calendar, putting notations on my calendar and everything, and I could see it at the end of the week and then a month, how many things I was doing for myself. But every one of my contemporaries that I would show it to, they would tell me basically two or three things. They go, "This is really cool," but then they'd say, "This needs to be an app, and my kids need to read this." And I think they really resonated with the whole think process. And as I remember when I shared it with one of my pastors, and he was a youth pastor, and he contacted me and he goes, "This is really cool, Len. Can you come talk to this to the high schoolers here?" Because,
Wow.
and yet that the whole think part, as I started studying, because I didn't have a whole lot of teen patients. I had a lot of adult patients. But I started really thinking about it, and my kids weren't. They're right at that level here, and I've been watching them. I go, oh, we don't learn how to drive a car until we get licensed till we're 16, right? You can't go
Mm,
buy booze or guns or anything like that till you're older. But you know what?
mm,
And I don't let my kids buy food for the house, right? Because I go, you soon enough you'll be able to put whatever you want to in the shopping cart when you have a job and you're on your own. But as a teenager, somebody in the second decade of life, they can, in starting their second decade of life, they get immediate control of what they put into their mental shopping cart because they start thinking, ooh, they're going to school. Do I fit in? They start some of that negative talk, start feeling their head. Nobody likes me. I'm not going to do good at school. And so it's not sad, but it's just the way it is. As young children, when we all have been there, we get full control of how we feed our mind in our second decade. And for some people, it's easier to fall more on the negative thinking and allow yourself versus, just, you got to pick yourself up a little bit. And that comes again, hopefully parenting can help the kids realize that, no, 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 you can do this. And I mean, think about what we tell our kids when they're 2 years of age. When you're taking them to the pool, you can jump in. It's okay. Jump, 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 jump. They're just fearful of jumping in the pool, right? And so, but
Mm,
they develop those thoughts, and by the time you're second decade, you're allowed that subconscious, that mindset starts growing. And is it growing more towards the negative thought, or can you start make sure you add some more of that confidence in there for yourself?
mm, amazing. Mental shopping cart. Wow, I never heard that before.
Oh, good. I
Beautiful,
thought that was
beautiful.
mine too, right?
So,
Yeah, you understand that,
yeah,
right?
my man. Right, right. Awesome, my man. So to bring this to an end, Dr. Len, for folks who would like to reach out to you or learn more about everything we've discussed so far, how can that be possible? And any final thought for the audience?
Well, I just if you're struggling with with where you're at in life, and I know a lot of times people are caught in this vicious cycle. Your habits and attitude research has shown is a great indicator for a lot of the successes and productivity you have in your life, right? But by the same token, your habits and attitude can also be the reason for many of the challenges and difficulties you have in your life, because maybe you're coming home and playing on your phone way too long, too many video games, too many, movie sessions, things like that, when you could have been using some of that time more productively to maybe go for a walk, to take an extra 10 minutes to prepare a better meal for yourself, to remind yourself that I need to put the phone away and give myself just a little mental pick me up. I always say, self help has been around for years. People have been, people dine by themselves, they vacation by themselves, they work out by themselves, they sleep by themselves. So you can give yourself your own personal coaching stuff and just remind yourself, hey, I'm going to have a great day today. Today's going to be good. I'm ready to get going. I feel great. I feel strong. Whatever phraseology, because we're all different, that fits you, that's going to kind of, you know, move you in the right direction. And so if if you need, if you feel like you need to move somewhere in a better position, I encourage your audience or some of you listening out there, check out 5 Steps a Day. It's an app. You can download it on Google or Apple. If you're looking for something more paper and pencil, like I was, then you can also, there's a calendar you can order. You can download a 1 month calendar you can download, or there's a printable one you can purchase, and a journal. But see if it helps you. As I said, in 2 minutes, less than 2 minutes, you can start tracking for yourself. And as I always say, corporations, they do what? They track their profits, their sales, their revenue, to see how well they're moving their corporation, right? Well, I like to believe we are our own little corporation. I'm the CEO of MMI, me, myself, and I. And so, what am I doing to make MMI successful? How am I feeding my body? How am I feeding my mind? How am I feeding my spirit? Those are the three areas. And so hopefully 5 Steps a Day can help you see how well, it's not an accounting program, but it is an accountability program. And it's nothing, it's accountability and feedback. It's not rocket science. Are you doing the things that will help make you stronger, make you healthier, make you more confident within yourself?
Beautiful, Dr. Len. That's a great one. So that's going to be the end of the show, Dr. Len. Thank you for coming and thank you for sharing this beautiful stuff with us. It means a whole lot. Thank you.
Hey, Elijah, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it and everything. And maybe we'll do it again sometime.